Hello, Kristen. This is Penelope commenting on your post, our final post for research. Thank the Lord. So I just want to comment on you said finally, your final discussion board was we made it. And you start out by talking about, jump right into talk about the three things that you've learned about research design. You said that one thing that was helpful that it made you more confident in your dissertation process, that we don't have to be married to either like quantitative or qualitative, but we can do something like program development. Myself as well, it was really helpful for me to know that. I'm thinking about changing from doing maybe I was thinking about doing qualitative with a narrative approach, to maybe going to program design for what I want to focus on, which is where the mentorship or preparation for pastors' wives in the apostolic faith is helpful in preparing them for the ministry duties. And so, like you said, it's helpful to know that I can design a program knowing the problem, but not just knowing the problem, but design something around maybe educating these women. And so that's something that I'm also working on in my field experience. I created 6 different workshops that I'm holding at my field site. So maybe I can design a program from that. So like you said, being able to maybe do a qualitative, quantitative mixed methods design where we're not married to just one method, which was helpful to find out. And you said that you believe your program development design will be more beneficial in rural communities as more of an outreach approach. And I agree, because I live in a rural community as well and not in a huge city. And so people that in rural areas, sometimes they don't have access to a lot of programs as someone that would in a city, and or if they have a hard time getting there, and sometimes just not having that trust. So maybe having some type of program in an outreach approach where you can do it at your church or a community center would be more beneficial. Secondly, you said that you learned that a mixed methods approach can strengthen the entire research project by adding subjective reports to other objective data. And I agree. Initially, as I was thinking about just doing just one type of approach, which would be qualitative, sometimes it may be seen as not being strong enough. But by adding another approach to it, like quantitative, and quantitative could be something like having surveys and assessments, passing those out to my sample population, and then getting the results and the feedback of that, that is in a quantitative approach, can kind of add to and strengthen my qualitative approach to the dissertation. So you agree, being able to maybe combine different approaches would be really strengthening your entire research. And lastly, you said the ongoing question for you is how we can decide on the best research focus when there are so many. How can we when there are so many avenues to explore? And I also put this in my final discussion board. It's just so much information, and sometimes instead of the information we get helping us to kind of hone in, it can add even more questions and apprehension to how we're going to go about doing our dissertation process. But thankfully, we have instructors like Dr. Stewart, and whoever may be on our dissertation team, Dr. Toven or Dr. Artis, those there them there to kind of help guide us to kind of hone in on what would be best for us to what focus, so we're not all over the place. And so like I said, without being too broad, because one question we know can lead to another, to another, to another, to another, and then we're kind of mixed in the sauce. So again, I appreciate so much listening to your reading your discussion board, and hopefully we'll see you in another class.